Vrindavan, as well as in Mumbai in the early 70s. Hare Krishna. She has wonderful realizations, wonderful relationship with Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you very much to have come again to be of my and thank you to you for come and to you, a big friend from Jaipur and Pushkar. So we'll finally work. Okay, I will start from a little story is well, so as you see in Srila Prabhupada's darshan room, there is a big cheminée. Okay. Actually, this is my grandfather's cheminée. When this happened, that my grandfather was a very, very big decorator in France, the most famous at that time. And he was doing cheminée, especially. So I told Surabi that we cannot do Srila Prabhupada room without cheminée. It's not possible. So he did not want. He said, what is the use? And I said, well, in the winter, Srila Prabhupada would be very happy. When it would be cold, we would make a fire, and he would be warm. So I insisted. Then he made that cheminée, and I was telling him it to be very big. So when the room was finished, Srila Prabhupada came. We entered the room, and the first thing he saw was this big cheminée. And he opened his eyes like this, and he said, "Oh, Surabi, you have put my kitchen in my darshan room." So then I was in the back of Surabi, I was pushing, telling him what we would do. So Surabi said, "Srila Prabhupada, in the winter, when it is very cold, we will light a fire, and you will feel very warm." And Prabhupada said, "No, Vaishnava never burns wood to keep warm. They put a shadow." So he turned to me very furious and went away. So that's why he's such a big cheminée, who was never useful. It's a monument there. Well, I hope my grandfather has some benefit. Okay, you will have to hear when Krishna is very hungry. Like you don't mind? I tell this because I never hear. Okay. So we had two presidents in Vrindavan. So at that time, two had it. So Srila Prabhupada asked me to cook for the deities, and I was given 3 plates. And I used to enter the kitchen, and in the morning and in the evening there was nothing left of the boga. So then one of the presidents became upset. He said, "This temple has no much money. Why are you cooking so much?" So I told him I have to give 3 plates, and I see what you are eating. I cannot give less to Krishna. So then he came back the next day, and
I'm glad she likes me because I'm annoying her.
So that president said to me, "Now you are going to stop to be a sentimental woman, of course, and Krishna is not eating. He has no stomach. He is looking." So I was thinking, okay, maybe he has no stomach. Prabhupada told me to cook, it's not for a joke. So I told him again, I have to do what Prabhupada told me, to cook. So then the next day again, the pujari got the order to cut off my preparations, like I put alva in little kettle. And he was cutting off before to go to the altar. So I was getting really upset. Then the next day, that president came again. And he said, when you will advance spiritually, you will give a dry chapati to Krishna with salt, like Sanatana Goswami. I have become very confused. So, and I wanted to punch him. With my big spoon, I got some education, so I did not. And at night I was actually very disturbed. I was crying. It was a big problem. And it was so difficult to cook at that time. I had to light wood fire, and treacle heat everywhere. So I put like a mosquito net on me with 2 big holes. So I was thinking I will not feel the heat when I go near the fire. Because I had to put the breakfast, the lunch, the 4 o'clock of it, the 6 o'clock and the 9 o'clock. So then Srila Prabhupada arrived, and he told Brahmananda Swami, "Please, Brahmananda, you give me what Kisori cooked for the deities today." So Brahmananda came and he said to me again, "Don't put too much on Srila Prabhupada's plate because his stomach is fragile." And so still I put 4 big parathas, big sabji, as much as I could. So he went with the plate to offer it to Srila Prabhupada. Then I was starting to cook the new offering. And then he came back. And he told me, "You should never cook as much as this for him." Because he hated everything. I was continually telling him, "Don't eat, Srila Prabhupada. You stop, you have pain in your stomach. It would be difficult." But Srila Prabhupada would not listen. And he was eating and eating. And he finished all, you see. And then he went like this on his chair and he said, "Brahmananda, what could I do? It was too good. I could not help her. She cooks too good. What could I do?" So I was very, very happy. So happy. Then, it was a long day. Then the second president, I think those presidents, they just was there to increase the mood of service of the devotees in a sarcastic way. So then that president, he started to say, so from today, no more service for the devotees. He said, I'm going to hire people. It will be more easy. Devotees actually, they get sick, they get this. So it will be more easy. We will hire people, and devotees don't do any more devotional service. I felt like a knife, you know. And when I felt like a knife, today I'm thinking maybe I had a little heart attack. I never had that, but it was strong. Because seriously, he was taking away the only thing we own. We gave her everything. Friends, family, sometimes children, working so hard all day, no question of salary, and we loved what we was doing. We completely was in love with our service and with Srila Prabhupada. And he was just taking it away and giving it to people who just wanted some money. So that was very difficult to understand. And then Krishna was very kind. He sent a brahmachari. Srila Prabhupada sent a brahmachari at that moment where I felt that pain. And that brahmachari said, Kisori, come. Srila Prabhupada is calling you. He want to see you immediately. I was a very simple girl at that time. And when I came in Srila Prabhupada's room, it was very hot season. And it was, I remember the curtain was closed, and it was a little dark. And Srila Prabhupada was sitting like this, very beautiful, and his hand like this. And I was so happy that he called me. And I was paying my obeisances to him, and I just get back on my knee. And I give the details because it's so sweet. And Srila Prabhupada told me immediately, Kisori, I don't like these things of hiring people, paying them. And then, being very simple, I thought, wow, Krishna had been telling to Srila Prabhupada what was going on in that room. They are connected like this. And I look at Srila Prabhupada and I say to him, it's a miracle, Srila Prabhupada. It's a miracle. Because you understand, I was not thinking at the time that already he had earth. And the big man and all that. I thought that Krishna was telling him directly. So Prabhupada said, miracle? What miracle? It's a miracle. It's a miracle. And Srila Prabhupada, it's incredible that you came so fast. Because I am in so much trouble in Krishna's kitchen. Then Srila Prabhupada said, what trouble? What kind of trouble? So I told him everything that I was telling you before. That Krishna has no stomach, doesn't eat, just sentimental. Then I told Srila Prabhupada, you know Srila Prabhupada, I know there is not much money in this temple, but Krishna is so rich. And I know that if I give him everything, which is in the kitchen, then the next day, the kitchen will be filled up again with everything. But then I said, but Srila Prabhupada, I am not giving him everything, so he gives me back. not at all. I just give it to him much as possible, so he's eating nicely. And Srila Prabhupada, he was like this, moving. Yes! In the hair like this. Yes, and with his smile up to here. Yes, Kisori. This is the way to cook for Krishna. So I felt, and I thought that something went in my mind very fast. And I said, wow, actually he's always with Krishna. I am not, I've never seen him, I don't know. So this is the time now to ask him to take advantage and to ask him really, how can I improve? And what can I, he knows what Krishna likes. I don't know actually. So you remember that there was cutting the little cutlery like this of rice. Just a little thing. And I said, Srila Prabhupada, so please tell me, how should I cook for Krishna actually? Then Srila Prabhupada, he stand next to me and he went like this. He said, you cook for Krishna. So Krishna has no stomach, huh? Doesn't eat. But he said to me, I never accept that, but he said, you cook for Krishna like you will cook for a very young man who is very hungry. So I was amazed. And he said, and you put rice like this, like a mountain. And then I said, and what more? And then he increased everything by 4 types of sweet samosa, 4 types of salty samosa, vada, puris, chapatis, paratha. So then he said, and you give. So I was given 3 plates. The president was not happy with me. 3 plates. Then Prabhupada said, you give 10 plates now. Everyone a plate. I said, oh my God. And then Srila Prabhupada told me, can you help me please? Can you cook for the restaurant? I said, yes, Srila Prabhupada. Can you cook for the devotees? Oh yes, Srila Prabhupada. And can you cook for the deities? Oh yes, Srila Prabhupada. And for me? Yes, Srila Prabhupada. So when I came out, I was going like this to not see the president. So that was one of the nicest days of my life. It's a nice sweet story also of a very, very special afternoon. Very slow afternoon. And Gurudas, I was happy to see that he wrote in his book that he was thinking that this afternoon will never end. Because I was feeling the same. So, like I was telling you, I think yesterday, every afternoon I will sit on the wall. And I would like to go inside the wall if I could. Because I was thinking I don't want Srila Prabhupada to see me. So he don't tell me to go out. But actually we never talk about, but every afternoon I was there. And he never told me to go out. So that afternoon, I had my little girl with me, she was 4 around. And came 2 Babajis of his friends. One was Krishnadas Babaji, he was small. And then this little dhoti, I don't know, little cloth, white. And another one who was taller, and I can't remember the name. Then they sat down, And they start to talk. And they was laughing and joking, very... You can have that food.
The mic stand?
So then, at one moment, Srila Prabhupada called Bhakti Kisori. He had named her that way. He said she would be named after you. He wrote to me a letter when she was born, and he said that he was happy that the new Vaishnava had come to this world. I never told him. Someone must have told him, and he sent me a letter. And that was very attentionate. So Srila Prabhupada called my little girl, and he put her on his lap. He was sitting there. Yeah. He put her on this lap, and the two Babajis was about like this. And I was in the room. So, again. Then he put her on his lap, and he started to go like this. He was going like this and talking to them. So they started to joke to him in Bengali, and I could understand that they was telling him, "Oh, Maya, what you doing?" like this. And then Srila Prabhupada, this beautiful finger like this, he put it in the ear of my daughter. And he was going like this, very, and she was going, wow. And the two Babaji, they started really to tell Prabhupada, you know, what are you doing? This is Moya. So Srila Prabhupada, he sit up my daughter, whispering in his ear. So she stands up, and she goes to the two Babaji. She fixes one, and she puts his arm around his neck, her arm around his neck, and go like this to him. So the other Babaji, he started to laugh, and Srila Prabhupada also, and they laughed. I thought he was going to roll on the ground. And the other one was like this, and he didn't say anything. So Srila Prabhupada called my daughter again, and he like this. Then she came back, and immediately she jumped on the other one and grabbed his neck like this and go like this. And then the other one started to laugh and laugh. And this, and Buddhas was coming, hearing all this laughing, what's happening. And all afternoon was like this. They was just joking, and the little girl was going from one to another. And for a few hours, actually. So it was very, very sweet afternoon. And, now, whenever you was going to Srila Prabhupada, or something, you will increase your service always. See it here? So there was an Nanda Baba. He was the cook of one of the cooks of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. And he was very old, but he looked like a young boy, his face, always smiling. He had also just a little cloth, and he had always his big bag. And when I heard was cooking. The spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. I thought, wow, I have to cook with it. But that was not easy. So I was just arriving in Vrindavan and I was still new devotee. So I didn't know Babaji or this. So I approached him very close. And I said, me cooking with you? And he went, Mataji. So I did not understand what's happening. So I come back, and me cooking, good cook. Ne, Mataji. He said, I was amazed because he said to me, I am, in very bad English, he said to me, I am Shurabi's wife. He said he was the wife of my husband. I said, what is this? I'm cooking for him. I'm cooking for everyone. You go Yamuna. Go Yamuna. But I decided that I would cook with it. So I thought that the best way is to sit, say nothing, and just watch him from far at the border of the kitchen. It was an open kitchen. So almost 1 month I did like this. Every morning. At that time I was not cooking. Yamuna, whether I was washing his dishes and pot. So I was saying, and one day, and he was always saying, Yamuna, wife, so happy. But one day, he threw some leaf plate to me, he threw like this. And he told me, pani. I was so happy, so I had to wash the plate, and he told me I can put them. Wow, I was so happy. And then after a few days, I was sitting next to him, cooking. And he was teaching me that way. And so we became very good partner. No, he was my guru. We became close. So we started to do things together that we should not do. Like devotees didn't want we give to beggars. So he was always laughing. He was so young, and he was more than 80. And so he was taking things, and when beggars come, he was looking and he was pushing me to go to give to the beggars, and looking that devotees doesn't see. But still, some devotees saw it. So they went to Srila Prabhupada, and they said, you know, Ananda Baba and Kisori, they are giving to the beggars. So they try to do that we don't see it because we forbidden it, but still they do it. So Srila Prabhupada said, so you're so rich, why don't you give to them? So from tomorrow, you are going to give Ketri on the old Shatikara road to all the beggars who come. So that was started the distribution of the Ketri. So she wanted me to tell my initiation. It was in Amsterdam. And when I joined, I was very lucky because there was one brahmachari, Dhananjaya Prabhu, you know him, married to Prabhupada later. At that time he was brahmachari. And so I was his first bhakti. And it was first in an apartment, and then we moved into an old garage. But the worst place, but actually we had no money, nothing. We had a pile of clothes. We take clothes from that. And so we was dressed very strangely. One brahmachari, he always take the hat with a big pom-pom, pink and white, to go in Harinam of my baby. And some had long coat like this. We had 2 shoes different, socks different, sometimes no socks, ice cold. Every day he would take us in Harinam. And only talking about Srila Prabhupada all the time. So he was very contagious. So we began to know Srila Prabhupada more than know him, to serve him and be with him through his love for Prabhupada. So it's very important. Every moment, Prabhupada. And he actually had told me that Srila Prabhupada was preaching to me. I was the first girl, and it was 2 other hippies who had come. And we knew each other actually. And they would come like this, and they would shave their head, but they had no cigar. Before to come, they shaved their head. And so he had told me that Srila Prabhupada had come from another world.
This was Dhananjaya.
Dhananjaya told me. So, and he was sitting me down with the japa, and that was the most horrible thing, because he told me 108 and 16, and I didn't like numbers. And I saw that I would never be able to chant. It would be the end of my life before I chant 108 times and 16 times. Well, I was trying. And I came to a picture of Srila Prabhupada on the wall. And then I saw him with a real Dasi hat. And really, you know, the American pilot, they have the kind of same hat in the leather and brown. And I thought, yes, it's true. Prabhupada came from it. He still had his aviator on his head. Wow. It's just from a different color, because it's from there. So, but I am not the only one to have been like this. I was a little more, maybe. But so then, I was many months serving, cooking for hundreds of devotees. And then it came the serious time to be initiated. So they asked me to make flags and banderoles, I don't know what to say, to go to London for the Ratha Yatra. So I went in Amsterdam to the hippie places where they put Agni music and everything. And I put some advertisement. Please, if someone have a sewing machine, come to meet me. You know, at that time we are very familiar, even if we don't know somebody. We use always to say peace and love whenever we meet. So we knew everyone, even if we never meet. So I say, if you have a sewing machine, please come to the Hare Krishna temple, because it's Lord Jagannath Ratha Yatra, and I need to do banners, and so a few days later, one girl came. She was from New Zealand, and she had worked very hard to save some money to go around the world with her 2 cousins. And she had some family in Amsterdam, her auntie or something like that. So she came, and she said, I'm going to help you. She was very jolly. Her name was Vivian. So I thought she should never leave. She had to go. You know, everyone who came to the temple, it was only the thing that he should not go. Once he come in, he cannot leave. And we used, myself, I used to cook, so I used to give prasadam so that they cannot move anymore. I tell you of two boys, Haribolananda and the husband of Nikunjavasini. And he was, Nikunjavasini, when he died, he died of cancer. And Nikunjavasini, she came to meet me, and she said, before he died, he was remembering when he came and how much you feed you. So I hope he, of course he's in Krishna Loka, so good for me. So they, okay, I jumped to another story, but doesn't matter. Those two came, and very skinny hippies. All the hippies were skinny. They don't have money to eat. And they have only money to smoke. So they came, and I gave them some prasadam, they see, and such a big plate that they are not used to it. So they are like that to soup. Then I said, don't worry, keep easy, no problem. And we have a nice ceremony now. So I was making arati for the 4 o'clock for the Shabbat. And after that, I rush in the kitchen and I bring them more plates. So they eat and then they cannot move less. I said, doesn't matter. You know, we have a very nice place upstairs, but that was just a ladder and a little mezzanine for the brahmachari, and you can't even stand up. I said, you will feel very comfortable there. you take rest. So, and I will ring the bell when it's time to come down. So when they came down, I was there with a plate of prasadam. So they take and they go to sit down like this. They could not talk. And then he came late, and I said, it's very cold outside. So you sleep with us tonight, there's no problem. So they never left. And they become Haribolananda, and they carve out the details later. And then. So to come back to this Vivian.
Who was the second one?
Vivian. Huh?
Who was the second one?
I can't remember his name, the husband of Nikunjavasini. I can't remember the name. Yeah. And they still devotees. Huh? And no. So this Vivian, so I thought she should never leave. So we just get the Krishna book, and my English was so bad. And still, I read to her wherever she goes, whatever she does, I read to her the Krishna book. And well, I always say that thing, but it's not very nice, but just to show you how we really wanted the soul who was coming. We see them as souls, lost souls, to give them to Krishna. Then we turn and we do another one, we take another one. No kota, we don't say we have done this and that. Just, it was a close relation between Krishna and us preaching. So when she used to go to the toilet, I used to tell her, leave the door a little bit open so I can read Krishna book to her. So it was offensive, but Krishna said, forgive us, because we don't know anything about good etiquette, Vaishnava etiquette, nothing. But we know that we have to bring back the souls to Krishna. It was very important. And then Srila Prabhupada would come. So, even at night, I would not stop to read book before she finally sleep. the days went by, and I told her, in 1 week, I am going to be initiated. So, look, I am waiting now for so many months. You can have it in 1 week. Can you imagine the chance you have? So finally, she was convinced. So she left everything, family, everything. She said, okay, tomorrow I go with you and I get initiated. I was very, very happy. And I wanted to exchange some anxiety that I have. I told her, you know, you have to understand that when we're going to be initiated, Srila Prabhupada is going to tell us what we are in Krishna Loka. And we can be any kind of things in Krishna Loka. You know, we can be a grass, we can be a cow, we can be a vegetable. And me, I was very much in anxiety that I be a vegetable. And I was praying to Krishna, and especially not a cauliflower. So, well, we was very innocent. We don't understand. We understand, but we don't. So, I told her, I said, what you want to be, do you know it? Have you been thinking? She said, oh yes, I want to be a cow for Krishna. Really? A cow? I said, yes, this is true. She wants to be a cow, so I can be a cauliflower. So she said, I said, sure you want to be a cow, an animal. I know they are very dear to Krishna, but she said, yes, I want to be a cow. I said, but I really want to be a gopi, Krishna. But how we can do that? Prabhupada recognizes us. So then when we arrived to the temple, actually Swami was not devotee yet. He didn't want. He accepted the Bhagavad Gita. Because I was very sick when I came to the temple. Actually, doctor said I was going to die. So, but I came to the temple. They treated me, they did everything. And in 1 week, I was running everywhere, doing more than before, and cooking for hundreds of EPs. And Swami, he saw it like a miracle or something like that. He could not, and he wrote a letter to my parents, which I had. So he started to take it a little more seriously, and his brothers too, 2 brothers. Because they had not been accepted in the temple because there was 3 of them saying that they are God. There are more than many people thinking there was God, like that. So the devotees was very nervous about that. So then I told him, come to the initiation. He could not get in the truck. It was his truck, actually, but it was our truck. He could not, there was no space. And I wanted to jump out the truck, to stay with him, and to go another way. The devotees pulled me, and I was telling him, you come, you run, you swim, you cross the sea, swimming, anything, but you come to see Srila Prabhupada. He's not a person of this world, you will see. And he started to read Bhagavad Gita. So then he joined us in London, he made his way, he joined us. And he had given all his money for the people, actually. And he was starting to do some service. So we arrived, and the day of initiation in the morning, Srila Prabhupada was on his yasasana. And all of us had different vision of Srila Prabhupada, transcendental. We saw him transcendental. We didn't know what it was. So myself, I was looking at him. He was playing guitar. And what I remember, I saw that he was extremely strong, very, very strong. But I saw another side, that he was very, very small. And it was something to do with his relation with Krishna. So his abandon to Krishna, his love with Krishna. And then I look at Surabhi to see if he was saying the same. He was standing straight like this. He was very proud person. And I saw that tears was pouring out of his eyes. And I was always praying to Krishna, please Krishna, do something. He had like an iron door in him. He cannot open. And I saw he was pouring tears. And he looked at me and he go down and said, yes, you are right. This person is not from this world. So he was like a stranger, just like Prabhupada, Darshan. So then I said to Swati, okay, so now the Darshan was finished. I said, this afternoon, I'm getting initiated. And I have to be dressed in a way that Srila Prabhupada know who I am. So come to the Indian market, and we're going to get all the things that I need to look like a gopi. I'm sorry. So, I had told my friend, Vivian, that you find some ribbons, because we had seen in somewhere that cows had ribbons. So I said, you make 2 bread and you put a lot of ribbons. So Srila Prabhupada can understand who you are. So, but it was very serious. We wanted to help him. It was so sincere. So I took my husband to the market, and he had no money. He had given everything to the devotee, very little. So we could get only the cheapest of the cheapest. So very clingy, how do you say? Teach, shining, everything. And I wanted it like this again. So it was like a red, bright and green sari, full of big sequins, but very cheap. And then something here, 2 things here, 1 here, bells like this, ears like this, and some chains, and then this, everything. And bangles up to here, and belt, but the ankle belts. I wanted them to make big, big noise. So you know, like for the dancers, that katak was
yes.
big noise. So came the time for the initiation. So, and I forget to tell you that I was expecting a baby. So, and of course flowers and all these things. Dots. So, Srila Prabhupada called my friend first. Nobody had ever heard what we said. It was in our little room, covered room. And nobody had heard, nothing. That's real. Nobody. So then Srila Prabhupada called her and he said, your name is Surabhi Devi Dasi, eternal cow, Krishna, in Goloka, Vrindavan. Then she came back to me Srila Prabhupada was there. It was a small temple room in Berkeley. She came back to me and she started to jump. This is really she said, I'm a cow! I'm a cow for Krishna. She got so happy. But then Srila Prabhupada called me. And I was standing and Srila Prabhupada said, your name is Kisori, Devi, Dasi, Eternal Gopi, Eternal servant of Srimati Radharani in Goloka, Vrindavan. I almost fainted. So in my book I will ask him, I will tell him all the shopping, everything that I wanted him to help him. You know, that book I told you for a while, so I will tell him this thing, because he doesn't know what I was feeling. Okay. Krishna, I have heard yeah. Okay, you want to yeah. One time we were doing morning. We was doing the morning walk, and we was starting, and I was just close to Srila Prabhupada, little back, and one devotee was next to him, and he came donkeys, big bundles. So the donkey, he came like this and pushed out the brahmachari. So the brahmachari jumped in the air. So I could not help myself, I laughed. But then the second donkey came and pushed me. And Srila Prabhupada stopped and he was laughing. There was one, like I was telling you the story of the cows yesterday. So I was always worried that one girl devotee come and take my place. I was very possessive. So and I was always feeling I am nobody. Always wondering that. So I was always scared. So one time came the wife of Ramsaduta, Emagati. And she was 2 times taller as me, and she was very together and strong and everything. So she came at the door in the kitchen, and then the sentence came. She said, so, and she was the wife of the GBC. So the sentence came. So Kisori, tomorrow morning, you are not anymore in this kitchen. I am going to take over. But as small as I was so attached to my service that Krishna gave me something clever in my mind. I said to her, instead of crying or panic or something, I just said to her, yes, Prabhu, it's all right. But before to not be there tomorrow morning, I had to ask Srila Prabhupada to leave his kitchen. So then that's where I was saved. So I asked Srila Prabhupada, she said, no, you stay with me, you stay in my kitchen. Like this. So she was very big, I was very small, but the wife of Ramsaduta. I remember she was living by Bhagavad. strong jumper, strong. Prabhupada saved me that day. He saved myself. And do you know that Srila Prabhupada actually Srila Prabhupada Gunahara and Surabi had made quotas with Maha Mantra on it, and they wanted to produce it to sell. So when Srila Prabhupada came, they offered to him one of these quotas with Maha Mantra. Quota with Maha Mantra on it, written, yes. And Srila Prabhupada refused it. And he said, no, we cannot wear this. I cannot wear, because then I will sit down, I will go. So actually, Srila Prabhupada did not like to wear casual embroidery of Maha Mantra or Radha Krishna or every, so because we can put them anywhere or sit on them. So he was refusing this. I wanted to mention this. So maybe I can say that about my friend Gunamali and Malati was there, and they were distributing. They were distributing a lot of books. And when Sankirtan devotees was coming, I was feeling very frustrated because I did not distribute the books. There was so much to preach, especially when they came, when they come. I was envious of them, but in the good way. It's nice to be envious of something you love to do, the same, because you see they are doing so nice. It's not bad enviousness. So, I was taking Srila Prabhupada meal, I was giving it to him, and then I thought, this time I'm going to tell him that I want to go in Sankirtan. So I gave his meal, and Srila Prabhupada was eating, and I stepped forward a little, and I started to say, Srila Prabhupada, from now, I want to go out and preach. I want to go in Sankirtan, and I need a truck. And I want to distribute thousands of books. And I will go to Ahmedabad, I will go to Bombay, I will go to Delhi, and I will distribute so many Bhagavad Gita everywhere and preach to everyone. And Srila Prabhupada was eating and saying nothing. And I was my hand like these books and suddenly Srila Prabhupada, one moment he stopped to eat, he looked at me and said, what's happening to you? You're not feeling well? You're not feeling good with me here in Vrindavan? Let them go. I was astonished, you know, like this. And then I understood that whatever service you do is ultimately is Sankirtan also, you know, and you don't have to want to. And even later, because everything Prabhupada was saying is always expanding.
Mike.
Very much. Expanding. And then always helping, whatever situation there is, big difficulty or anything, it's like something, one word of him will fit into that difficulty and will stop me to collapse or to go away or to get too disturbed like this. It's incredible. So all these things I am telling you is pure Srila Prabhupada, is one way to show himself to me. And is benefiting because pure devotee coming from Krishna Loka. Just if he doesn't say anything, he purifies the whole world. So if you're next to him, you of course I'm not purified, I think I will never be, but still you feel so much love coming from, like I was telling you. So then I was, and Prabhupada had feelings, you know, very strong feelings. And I was thinking one day, oh, but actually, when he told me, what's happening? You're not feeling well with me anymore. I was thinking, maybe I hurt him, that I want to go, and I was exchanging, doing some night service, and he was, you know, like this. So sometimes you forget he's the guru, and you just feel loving exchange. So that's why, because Vaishnava never died, and he's the fondator of ISKCON. So that's why if we concentrate on him with all our strength and love and everything, this movement will get stronger, and we will be able to welcome better devotees. As it will go, devotees who will come will be better. We are I am one of the, he picked me in the street, in the garbage. So devotees who are coming now are much nicer. So if we make if we hold Prabhupada like this, all of us in the middle of us, and keep him there, it's unbelievable how Krishna will be happy. Because if we love Srila Prabhupada, Krishna is more happy than we love him. Because he works so hard. I am 70, so I see how sometimes tired, bending the legs, bending this, bending that. I didn't want to move actually from my kitchen in the farm and from my house. I mean, when devotee was pushing me, actually he's here, Lakshmanath Prabhu, and because he was hearing about Srila Prabhupada, and he was saying that more I hear and more I like to hear, and then he started to think that I had to speak about it, you know. But you don't know, I could not, I was too shy, I was thinking I was nobody, nothing, I was not so well treated there. So I was keeping it to myself and watching in my heart every evening, coming back to Vrindavan and choosing one moment with him. Everything was clear and I would be so happy like this. But he was saying, no, you have to share, and then sometimes getting even heavy, you know. But I could not imagine, and the first time it happened, really, in Radhadesh, with many devotees, I thought I was going to die. It's, and now I think I'm very fortunate because I can serve you by giving some memories of Srila Prabhupada. So actually, I am benefiting from your mercy. And,
story about Krishna and the Mataji. So a lot of people may not
it was an afternoon in Srila Prabhupada's garden here. And so I was sitting. Prabhupada decided to be in the garden, so I sat in the garden with him. And then Tamal Krishna came. And Tamal Krishna sat down and he said, Srila Prabhupada, there is a big problem in ISKCON. And of course, guess what? The woman. So he said, especially women who are not married, who are alone, and more than that, women who are alone without a husband and children. So he said the economy, everything is going down because of that. They cannot do as much service, they cannot go to collect sometime. So I decided that they should live outside the temple. They should manage their own place. So Srila Prabhupada actually, he turned his head and he didn't look at it. And Srila Prabhupada answered, there is no more, I don't know how to say it good, you will understand. There is no more heavy burden in this world than to be a woman alone and more raising children. No burden is more heavy than that. So, you protect all these women. You let them simply play with their children. Of course, if they want to do some service, they can. I was understanding that Srila Prabhupada is so compassionate, so many times. Because our leaders, they have hard work to do, such things to manage, so they have to be, how do you say, practical. Srila Prabhupada will not seem to be practical. So many times, in high demands, you know, in very generous ways. He was the most practical person. But still, sometimes, he would be so generous that he would be so compassionate that it was not of this world. So then, Tamal Krishna, he again said exactly the same thing. And I was exactly same word, same thing. But Srila Prabhupada, and he said, and I was astonished because Srila Prabhupada, he also himself repeated exactly what he was saying before. Same word, same, he plays game, you know, of Tamal. And then Tamal, it was not enough. So Tamal started again. Srila Prabhupada said, that's enough now, you can go. So he was very merciful to the ladies, always, always. Doesn't want me to tell you something.
Well, now go ahead, now you have to. Now you have to.
Now she is giving her permission. Now she gave her permission, so you can tell her.
Huh?
She gave her permission, so you can tell her.
I don't know. Actually, Prabhupada told it to sannyasis. So, what? Huh?
Yes.
Srila Prabhupada was very tricky and teasing. You know, I told you yesterday, many stories. So, one time, many, about 8 of them. GBC Sannyasi was there. And I was busy coming and going. Then I was at the door, and Srila Prabhupada told them, with a smile, he said, "Je sais, Kisori, she's so young, she's so beautiful, and she's so happy, simply serving me." So the sannyasis, they became very looking on the floor. We cannot look at women, we cannot look at women. And Srila Prabhupada said, "Je sais," like this. And after actually they came out here, and 2 of them, and it was like, wow, you have so much mercy. Maybe Srila Prabhupada was really incredible, you know, how he could say anything he wanted. Anything he wanted. Everybody, the biggest man was feeling like small boys in front of him. And if he did not, then he would say, "Okay, you know, now, go." Like this. I'm sorry, I could not prepare. I was a little late, so I'm...
Tell us the other Nimkin story.
Tell them
The one with the machine.
The big machine,
Oh,
yes, yes. Nice.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes! This is nice. This is so fun.
Sure you guys
Please.
deserve to hear that story.
What? What's that?
Very big machine. Yes.
They're going to think I'm a liar.
You are.
No.
You will. It's the intention that counts in spiritual life.
So, okay, so I said the Vada before. So one day Srila Prabhupada asked me at noon, he said, "Do you know how to make Vada?" I said, "Yes, Srila Prabhupada, but I didn't know." So Srila Prabhupada told me, sometimes you see, he had told me to not buy anything, you know, that orange juice or anything in the market is rotten. But he told me, you go to the market and you watch them, how they make jalabis, how they make everything. And so I thought, okay, tomorrow morning, I go immediately and to see how they make Vada. I was a make Vada. So Prabhupada said, "You have bought dal flour? Yes, Srila Prabhupada, but I am not." So I thought, okay, I made everything ready, so when he would want the Vada, I will make it for him. But then he told me, "So you give them to me for breakfast tomorrow morning." And it was very early, so I had no time to go to the market to see. So I managed to get some Oda flour, and I managed to make Vada. But then he called me immediately, and he said, "Never make Vada." Because, and I like Prabhupada, so beautiful expression. How he talk, how he move his head, everything. Wonderful. And he said, it was beautiful. He said, because they shouldn't be light as a cloud. They should not be hard like a rock. Okay? So, don't make it for me anymore. And he was very strong like this. When I make some mistake, he would say, I don't want anymore. But I will not listen. And I will do it still. And it was okay after. So I met him. The next day I went to the market with him. And he said, yes, it is very, very nice. So one day, one evening, so we had a special darshan, very late at night, with baggage. And that evening, we were sitting, and they was talking. I had given the milk to him with something, because Srila Prabhupada said that we should never drink milk at night without something to eat. He said it was a vehicle, something to go along with the milk, so we can digest. So, Srila Prabhupada turned to me and he said, do you know how to make namkins? Yes, Srila Prabhupada, but I never made namkins. And I said, it's okay. It's very late and he will not assist for his breakfast, I'm sure. So, he said, Srila Prabhupada said, do you have a machine to make his namkin? Yes, Srila Prabhupada. But I had no machine. And I was sitting. So then he talked again with Bagaji. I said, poof. I would go get the machine, get the same thing as the vada. I did not see it coming, you know. So it was late, huh? It was about 10. So I was very happy. Wow, I'm going to make namkins, right? I'm going to learn one more service. So then Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada turned to me and he said, you have this machine here? Yes. So go and get it. I want to see it. So I stand up and I remember I was... But I could not stay like this. I had to get the machine which doesn't exist. I was frozen like in that story. I had to do something which I could not do. So I went in the, you know, that kitchen, we had an open kitchen. And I started to run. There was a big fire. And I started to run around looking for that machine. Which I had not, and I didn't know even how it looked. But because I was a cook, I figured out that this namkin, there should be a dough that we could press into holes. And at that moment, I saw some round thing, a quarter.
It's called a ladle. Yeah.
That you fry.
Drain the
Samosas and everything. So I saw a piece of it. I said, yeah, I'm going to get this. So I tried to take it, but it happened that it was a huge one, like this, in iron, and with a long handle like this. Very, you know that, to make more handles the oils. So and I had no time, it was such an iron. So I start to do like this, and I take it, and when I got it like this, I go, oh, so heavy, iron, you know, beaten iron. So still, I managed to put it on my shoulder. It was so heavy. And then I went back in Srila Prabhupada room. It's a huge thing. So, it was there. And Srila Prabhupada was talking with Bhagaji, and he turned like this and his eyes very big. Oh, he is this your machine? I said, yes. So, and then Srila Prabhupada said to me, you sure you can make these nankies with this machine? Oh yes, Srila Prabhupada. So then we talk again with Bhayaji. They was talking, I don't know, lightly. Then he turned at me and said, so, then go and make some for me. Then I stand at this because I don't know how to make it. I didn't know at all, but I am a cook. So, I saw very fast, you know, like 2,000 miles an hour, my mind was moving. Yes, something I experienced when I lied to Prabhupada, that the mind was going very speedy. Okay. So, I lie only because I wanted to do these things for him. That's all. I thought if I don't know how to do it, someone else will know how to do it, and then I will not be able to do it. So I have to say, I know how to do it. So then I thought very fast, he has to tell me the recipe, but I have to trick him. He should not understand that he's giving me the recipe.
Very intelligent.
No, it was a surviving. So that I made myself as sweet as possible, small as possible, and I approached him very, very close. He was sitting there. Big, big smile. Srila Prabhupada. And I thought there must be 3 kinds of flour. Maida, wheat flour, or besan. So I said, Srila Prabhupada, actually, how do you like these nankies? Do you prefer besan, wheat flour, or maida? Look at me. He said, besan? Of course, it's always made of besan. And I saw the spices. So I said, do you like it with ajwain or with cumin, maybe? Ajwain. So he's giving me the recipe. And he doesn't know. I said, Srila Prabhupada, maybe I should put some haldi. Yes. And Prabhupada started to talk again with spaghetti. And I said, maybe you like it with some chili inside. Make it, you like chili? Yes, Prabhupada said. So then I was very happy, and I was 100% sure that he gave me the recipe, he did not understand it, and it stays like this. Then I won, and I told him, you like them big or small? But I had only one way to do it with my machine anyway. So I went and I managed to, I was sweating, I didn't know if it had to be running the dough or not, but it managed that he liked it very much. So.
Yes.
Tell about buying the Gurukul land.
The what?
Gurukul land.
You want to... Oh, the Gurukul land? Wow, that's special.
It is.
You don't know. Well, no.
This is.
No, because you can't Prabhupada.
I'll tell you what I know, and she can correct me, because it's hearsay.
But when we heard Kishori was coming, we got really, really excited. I met her in '76 at Babaji's, actually. And so I was telling everybody, do you know this Gurukula land? Now, Babaji was an old gentleman who didn't have any sons, daughters, anybody else to leave the family gold to. He didn't have any more relatives and he had the legacy of the family gold, all the jewels. And Kishori was okay, here.
Good, better still, here.
Okay, this is what I heard. She's going to correct. This is really excellent. So because Kishori was just like his daughter, and on so many occasions, Kishori was saved by Babaji. You want to tell that story about when you ran and you were hiding? That story at Babaji's? Babaji, on many occasions, was her champion, and he came to her rescue and negotiated her out of trouble. But better still, he gifted her with all of this wonderful gold. And she immediately took it to Srila Prabhupada, precious, precious jewels. She immediately took it and gave all of it to Srila Prabhupada. No? Okay, well, we're going to hear the real thing.
Yeah, because,
Okay, good. Okay. Yes.
almost.
Okay, good.
So, actually, I invaded, invaded Bagaji house. I was, so I started really, he didn't know that Srila Prabhupada, Yamuna go to him, and little bit, but I invaded his house, and I started to manage him. Totally. I will say, don't read this book, don't read that book. I will take his book away. No, you cannot read the Tulsi book. We have to read Vamilki book. And I will put Srila Prabhupada books instead of his books, like this. And he started to be so attached to Srila Prabhupada. And he got very, very attached to my family. And actually one day I was sitting with him in Srila Prabhupada's room. And I became quite embarrassed because he was going like this. And he said, Srila Prabhupada, what can I do? I am so attached to this Kisori, but it sounds a little, strange. And Srila Prabhupada was smiling. And he said to me, what can you do, Bagaji? You have to tolerate. This is coming from the past life. So then he was helping us, serving Prabhupada. And he actually realized that Srila Prabhupada was different than anyone in this world. It was incredible. He was always telling me himself, oh yes, but Prabhupada is something. Prabhupada will not preach to him, and he will take him as a friend. But he was very, very wonderful devotee. So, a rich Dasi, he was from Aligarh, a rich farmer. He was initiated by a preacher, but he had to leave his body only. So, one day, he called me, and he said, go in this cupboard. So I went into the cupboard, and there was many boxes. He said, go in the boxes. And there was another box, another one, like that. And then it was a bundle, like this. And he said, come to sit. Then he opened the bundle, and there was crowns, bangles, gold, pure gold, and precious stones, some rubies, but all like villagers, but real stone, real thing. And then he took some crown like this, and he wanted to put it on my head. Rani, Rani, he was saying, it's for you. I give this all to you. I said, where does this come from? I was not attracted at all. I said, but where this is coming from? Then he told me that actually, because he was a rich farmer, villagers will come and they will sometimes take some money and leave jewelry. But no interest, just to help them. But sometimes they will not be able to give back the money. So then the jewelry was staying there. And I remember I went, ah, so much karma. He looked at me. He said, but this is very beautiful. And then again, my mind went very fast. For service to Srila Prabhupada. And I said, wow, Srila Prabhupada needs money for the Gokula. So I told Bhagaji, I said, you said you don't want my to be separated from Bhakti Kisori. You don't want her to go to Bombay and then I will go also. So I have a very good idea. Srila Prabhupada wants to make a Gokul. So let's go to the market immediately and we are going to sell the jewelry. So he was amazed, you know. He said, it's too hot now, something like that. I said, so tomorrow morning, first hour, we go. So the next morning, we went to the market. He sold all the jewelry. And this I will tell Prabhupada because then we come back. He had big money. And I said, come, we go to Srila Prabhupada. It was here. And I go in the corridor with him. I open the door and I push him. And I closed the door. Because I didn't want to take something of his service, you know. Yeah. I wanted him to have it all. So I never knew that actually I was a little bit of a tool for this Lakshmi for the group.
So
I will tell him in the book.
You can tell him?
Yes.
Wow. But we knew. We remember.
Yeah? Okay.
Bhagaji saved him.
Yeah? Okay, Miss Maharani. Yeah, it's a good teaching. Very good teaching. It helped me. But they heard it already.
No, we don't hear, just a few of us.
Only not yet.
Okay.
Only half of us heard it, and they didn't hear it at all.
It was nice to hear it the second time.
It's wonderful to hear it
Yeah.
the second time.
Can she talk tomorrow? We can sit and make a list. I think she has a whole list here in the book.
Yeah, but if I have to talk tomorrow, then I will be
Can we do it
prepared.
tomorrow again?
I will be prepared.
She would be prepared tomorrow.
Tomorrow
She'll sit and have her
5 to
list.
7.
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll do it again.
So it was a festival. And Srila Prabhupada, when he was in Vrindavan, he was managing practically everything. So this festival, I was in charge of cooking for the deities. And Smara Hari, he was in charge of and Smara Hari, he was in charge of cooking for devotees. And he had a mountain of potatoes. And I just wanted 4 or 5 potatoes for Krishna. And he didn't want to give it to me. So we had a little fight. But I got my potatoes and I was going to the kitchen. And Smara was temperamental, we said.
Yeah, you can say that.
Temperamental, okay. So when I was going through Prabhupada's house with my potato, very happy. So Brahmananda, he called me. He said, Kisori, come. You know, one devotee just Srila Prabhupada was asking about Mahahari, where he is, what he is doing, because Prabhupada wanted to check how the cooking was going on for the devotees. Then one other devotee told Prabhupada, oh, Mahahari, he had been kicked out of the temple by Kisori. I said, Ramananda, what? It's not true. I said, what Srila Prabhupada said? And Ramananda said, oh, Srila Prabhupada said, what? Kisori, she kicked out Mahahari of the temple? A woman? So then I collapsed totally. I saw my life is finished. I can never meet Srila Prabhupada face to face. Because I noticed always that Srila Prabhupada was very, very sweet and kind, affectionate, everything with the lady. But he loved his men to be strong and to be ahead. That's always. I had so many things I could tell you. Always. So I was ashamed, feeling ashamed. So then I rushed to Bagaji house and I cried to him. Bagaji, this is horrible. What is it to me? Somebody said like this. I can never go in Prabhupada, in front of Prabhupada again. What I will look like. So then I ran into one of his rooms and I said, I'm just going to sleep forever. And I took a blanket, put it over my head, and I stand there. And Bagaji became very agitated because he was very attached to me. So he wanted to protect me. Oh, he said, this is not possible. How could they lie like this? So I'm going to see Srila Prabhupada, and I'm going to defend you. Don't worry. Wait for me. So I was happy that he goes to see Srila Prabhupada. So we went, he came, he was old, and he was walking like this. And we went to Srila Prabhupada. And actually, I was not sleeping, I was just waiting to hear the door open and what Prabhupada would have said. So then, maybe quite a long time, 3/4 of an hour or so, I hear the door open and, breeze passing like this. And he was knocking the floor with his cane. Kisori, oh Kisori, stand up, get out of this Maya. And then he came to the room and he beat me with his cane. That I remember.
Really hard or softly?
Quite hard. So I stand up very quickly. And he said, come, don't worry. Srila Prabhupada told me, I can never be against Kishore. Bring her to me. I make her all right in 2 minutes. I was in my best of form. And I thought, wow, he only understands me. No one else in this world. Now I'm going to tell him everything. How hard it is, how difficult it is, how unjust it is sometimes, how this and that. And I really saw that when I would come to Srila Prabhupada. He would go, oh Kisori, don't worry. I am with you. I understand you. Don't worry. They are so bad to you. So I was going that way to Srila Prabhupada's house. So on the way I was becoming more and more sure of myself. So then when we came to Srila Prabhupada's house, Srila Prabhupada was not in the room. So it was like we had to sit down and wait. So I saw Bagaji becoming a little nervous actually. He was going like this. And me, I started to shrink like. I said, what am I doing here? for some potatoes. And Srila Prabhupada came back like my spiritual master to me. And I thought, I'm going to disturb with a potato story. And I started to feel, you know, that I could not even swallow anymore. And Srila Prabhupada took like 10 minutes to come. And those 10 minutes was like my whole life or something like that, becoming like this. And actually, also I was hoping that Srila Prabhupada would come and would be very sweet to me. I felt something was wrong. And Srila Prabhupada came in. And I was remembering with Tamal, because he did not look at me. And immediately, he started to speak with a very loud voice. And that was terrible for me when he made this voice. And he said, so I was expecting, oh, don't worry. But he said, what is this? Agreement, disagreement, what does it mean? Very strong. So then he came and he sat down. He was standing when he was saying that. And his face was very grave. And he sat down. And could not say anything. Then Srila Prabhupada said to me, now you are sitting on the lap of Krishna. But if you don't learn how to become tolerant, you will never make it in spiritual life. Very grave like this. Then Srila Prabhupada, he took the pen, he was like this. I said he took the pen because, I mean, such a great spiritual master, having so much to do, and preaching like this to a very idiot girl. So he stands up like this, he sits like this, and he joins his hand like this. I can never forget. And he went like swimming in it. And he did, you have to go like this. Like this. Otherwise you will never.
She's bowing down for everybody in radio land.
Explain the position like this, that Prabhupada.
Yeah, Prabhupada went like this. You have to go like this. He bend himself very down. You have to go like this in the spiritual life. Otherwise, you will never make it. So later on, I understood the gift they gave me that day, because that saved me so many times. But that moment, I did not understand. Really. I just hear. Then he said the prayer. You said, yes. He said that prayer. And he said to me, my spiritual master is wearing this prayer like a garland around his neck. Then he told, but you see, I was in my little world. I was so, I don't know why I was with Srila Prabhupada. I was my so teeny world. Only thing was counting that I cook, I clean, I was with him, and that's all. I was full with that. And he started to tell Bayaji, preach to him, Bayaji. And the only teaching I got that day was that, wow, now he's never going to preach to me anymore, and he gave me to Bayaji. And I was so stupid. So then I left, and I went to my friend Malati and Gunamai, and they asked me always, you know, my Prabhupada said. And then I told Gunamai, please run to the market, get some ink and some needle. Because Srila Prabhupada told them, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, his spiritual master, wear this prayer like a garland. So I want to have it around my neck, So I will never forget. And so she went, she was a painter. And then Malati and Palikar, they also get. And then she stayed very late at night because I said, tomorrow morning I want to show Srila Prabhupada. So the next morning, actually I don't look in the mirror, but it was horrible looking. It was like bloody and crust and horrible. So I gave Srila Prabhupada breakfast, and then he was eating, and I waited a little bit, and I went dramatically, and I said, look, Srila Prabhupada, you tell me, you spiritual master, where's this prayer? And I told him the prayer as a garland put around his neck. So I did it also. And I show him, and you see this is staying like this. And tattoo, big tattoo. And it was so not nice, and Prabhupada was eating, you know. Prabhupada looked like this and went, And I felt so stupid. And it is after that the next day, Srila Prabhupada, he stand in front of me, he looked at me and he said, never jump out this boat, even if it is very dandy.
Never what?
Jump out the boat.
Never jump out this boat, means this car. Even if it is very tangy, because it's worse out there.
What's Tommy?
Tangy, like this.
Stormy.
Shaky. Shaky.
How you say?
Stormy.
Shaky.
Something. He said because it is worse out there.
Worse.
So, so words like this of the spiritual master, it keeps you forever, actually. Even you're ready to jump, I don't know where, when it's big difficulty or that, but it holds you the same. More and more the years was going, more and more. I realized that, but he gave me a gift forever. And if he had pat me and be sweet to me, maybe I would be nowhere today. So,
What year was the year that with the potato store with Smarhard?
what it was the year, what year? I don't know.
Was it before they opened?
Was it also in the temple? I don't know. I was not living, I don't know, chronologically.
She was
I'm not good.
She was cooking for the
I'm
ladies.
sorry.
Because Smarhari showed up in Nepal at one point. Smarhari came to Nepal at one point when I was there.
But actually I met Mahari with jaundice, yellow fever, everything, completely like this in the yard, because we had no electricity, no sweet water. We did a well, but it was salty water, and we had huts to sleep. Srila Prabhupada slept in a hut once. And Smarhari was very sick, so that was after.
You were cooking for the deities, so does that mean it was after the installation?
Yes, so the temple was there.
Does anybody have any questions?
I am.
It's after 7.
So tomorrow again, we'll have Kisori speak about the glories of Srila Prabhupada, pleasing Srila Prabhupada.